Hey, Marcus Bellringer here, and I'm about to blow your mind with 100 AI music video image styles that are absolutely insane. This isn't just another list video. I've actually created examples of every single style using the latest AI tools and AI music artists that we've been creating here on the channel, the album, the artwork, etc. And if you want the cheat code of the styles from this video and some history on the background of it, we will put a link in the description for you to be able to download for free. All right, so stick around because one of those styles just blew my mind. I've not seen anything like it before. Listen, the AI music video revolution is happening right now. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, okay, we were impressed by some basic AI videos. I remember I was using Kyber and I ended up generating overnight like 8 music videos. And that just, that was like, whoa. All right. Today, just over the past month, I've tested every single major AI video generator from Runway to Pika to Sora, Kling, Minimax, Luma Dream Machine, etc. And I've actually done a music video on this channel. You can find it here on my channel. And here's what makes this YouTube video different. I'm not just showing you the styles. It's not just about the music video. I've also included in this what an album cover would look like using the styles as well. Because as you know, it's not just about the music. It's just not about the music video. It's not just about the lyrics, and it's just not about that. It's about the whole aesthetic, the consistency of branding. Before we dive in though, if you're serious about creating content with AI, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Let's go ahead and get into it starting now. All right, so these were generated with Sora. So you just go to sora.chatgpt.com and you'll be able to get into the ChatGPT image generation and video generation area. And so I've compiled, for the sake of this video, what the type of shot is. So the idea is a person and a person on stage. So the person, basically we're doing an album cover, right? That is in the prompt. So it basically gives the art style, who we're doing this for, Latin pop artist Serena. The album cover is the photo shoot. Okay, so that's the prompt. Here's the Renaissance style, on stage performing at the microphone, which most artists do. So, okay, again, the cheat sheet for this is here below in the description, and so you just enter that and you'll get access to some of all of these, really. Okay, so let's go through, see what we have here. This is the Renaissance art style, okay, and again, Latin pop, so on stage performing with the microphone. This is the album cover. The thing about Sora's image generation that I love is that it spells the name correctly most times. Okay, so that's the Renaissance style. Okay, look at that. Then we enter into the Baroque art style. Look at that. See, it picked up the Latin pop star in the prompt. And then here's her on stage at the microphone. So this is the album cover. Look. Then this is her on stage with the microphone. They didn't put her name in it, which is cool here. All right. Here's the Rococo. I'm sure I'm butchering that name, but let's go. Rococo art style. All right. Or maybe I'm saying it right. You let me know in the comments. All right. I'm new to the art world, so go gentle on me. Let's see. So that would be the album cover, and this would be her at a microphone. Okay. AI can do some funky stuff. Look at, we got 6 fingers here. We got 3 hands here with some interesting things. Oh, look, made her a mermaid. Okay. So this is the medieval Gothic art style. Okay. Look at that. Oh man, fantastic. Okay, this is medieval Gothic art style, but her on stage singing, performing at the microphone. All right. Then we go into the Neoclassical art style. Very cool. Okay, that's the album cover one. Then at the microphone, look at that. Got 2 microphones, 1 handheld. Very rarely do you see this happen, but anyway, okay. And then we have the Romanticism art style. Now, when you get the free guide provided in the link, it goes into details what distinguishes these styles from each other. Okay, beautiful. And at the microphone, wow, this one has so much emotion in it, right? Okay, and then here's the Impressionism art style as an album cover. Okay, aren't these images are just amazing, right? Impressionism at the microphone. Okay, Fauvism. There's a lot of isms going on here. I'm gonna have to have some decide what the Bellism is. What would be Bellism? Create my own style. Let's see, album cover. Okay, here we go. The Fauvism. Wow, very cool. These would be very cool for a music video. Other thing that you can do inside of this Sora, doing it in the Sora image generation area of ChatGPT, is that you can click and have these become videos automatically, and you'll see that at the end. All right, Impressionism art style. Look at that. Okay, album. That was the album cover. This is at the microphone, live performance. Then Cubism. Look at that. Cubism art style. And then Cubism at the microphone. Oh, so cool. Oh, I was so excited to do this because I learned to see myself what these generations are doing. Futurism art style. Now, as a futurist, I'm like kind of all in on this kind of vibe. Maybe not right for her as an artist, but for some of the other artists that I work with or that I've created, definitely the futurism vibe looks amazing. All right, and there's the futurism art style at the microphone. Okay, it's interesting that like these are realistic faces here on this futurism, but not realistic face on the futurism inside of the singing at the microphone. I'm sure if I did other iterations or generations of this, I did basically one shot generation, it would have come up with something else. All right, here's the Surrealism. Wow, you can see, look at that clock melting there and the fish flying up in the air, and very cool. That was the album cover. This is the Surrealism inside of the stage performance. Okay, look at that, got eyes back there. Dadaism art style here. Look at that. Wow, cool. Dadaism on stage performance. All right, like that. Okay, Art Nouveau. Voila. Okay, look at that. Very cool. Very beautiful. All right, Art Nouveau. Okay, looks like I did 2 generations of the album cover. You can see it's in the same family, but as I generated this twice, because Sora got hung up, you can see it there. It is a little bit different between the different iterations. Again, another album cover. All right, so the more you generate, the more options you end up having. So that's a little tip. Do as many generations as your pocket can handle. I would assert will give you a lot of things to work with. All right, and then here's the Art Nouveau style at the microphone. Okay, again, multiple generations. Must have clicked that thing 3 times, like, come on now. All right, here's the Art Deco art style. That looks very, very, very high end and throwback. All right, again, here we got another Art Nouveau. Let's skip that. Art Deco art style at the microphone. Very cool. Destige or Neoclassicism. Woo. I have some friends that are mentoring me in the art space. Go easy on me with these names here. But isn't that cool? Look at that color. Exactly, we got that, and again we have 3 hands here, but it's wild. On stage performing. Different generations. Baja's art style. Here we go. Look at that. So clean. Baja's art style with Serena on stage performing at the microphone. All right. Okay, now we get into abstract impressionism. Is the album cover there. And then as the microphone. Then we get into pop art. Now, this is very familiar. Pop art style. Okay, for the album cover. And then pop art style for at the microphone. Okay. Minimalism art style. Now, I believe the artist Rosalia. It seems like I remember seeing this kind of thing. Or was it Rosalia? Some artists, they really went in on this minimalism art style. If it wasn't Rosalia, it was some other artist. If you know the artist, put it in the comments. Or if you know any of the artists or creatives that have used some of these, just put that in a comment. I like to see what other people have done with it. All right. Album cover, minimalist. This is at the microphone, of course. And then op art style. Okay. Look at that. That looks so cool. Psychedelic almost. Op art style again at the microphone. Very cool. And I would imagine if I put in a prompt, hyper-realistic image of, it would have gotten the memo and done it more like we saw the hyper-realistic one. Okay. And then here's a Japanese woodblock art style. Very Japanese right there. Okay. Same thing here with the microphone. Very cool. Even I wonder if this says her name. If you speak Japanese or write Japanese, please let me know what that says. Or maybe I'll take a picture of it later and put it in ChatGPT. Like, what does this say? Maybe it says her name. All right. And then here's the realism one. Very cool. Seems like I've seen some Netflix TV shows that have this kind of flavor. All right. Here's the realism. All right. At the microphone. Here's the photorealism art style. You know, you can see the difference here. This one looks a little older. This one looks a little more modern, right? Photorealism. Okay. Again, this is just like, not just modern, but this could be her singing at the microphone, really, like that. Oh, I like created some merch in that picture. Okay, here's a hyperrealism. Again, look how realistic this looks. All right, same thing at the microphone. And usually when I'm doing some of the AI characters that I want to look hyper realistic, I use the hyper realistic prompt. All right, here's the oil painting style. All right, very similar to the ones that we looked at earlier in the Renaissance, etc. Okay, then here's the watercolor one. All right, the album cover and watercolor. I don't know if you remember doing watercolors, but that's bringing back some memories. All right, here's the ink wash painting style. Isn't that cool? This would be cool for a whole music video where it's just kind of like, okay. Anyway, if you end up doing something with these styles and create music videos, please come back and put them in the description, not in this in the comments here. Okay, I want to see them. All right, here's the charcoal sketch art style. Love it. I have some artist friends that do charcoal sketch art, and wow, looks like some of their work. Okay, pencil drawing art style. Now, this is just a lesson right here from charcoal. This is what charcoal looks like. This is what pencils look like, right? You can tell there's a difference. Look how clean and tight that is. Okay, pencil drawing art style. Okay, here we go at the microphone. College art. Very cool. I mean, excuse me, not college. Collage. Woo. Yeah, I need to put my glasses on. All right. A collage art style. And of course, it's a collage because, look, it's a collage of her and collage of elements in that. So very cool. And I've seen some recent AI music videos that actually use a collage art style in it. I think there was a Snoop Dogg one that used a bunch of different things. Dr. Dre's in there too. See, okay, mosaic art style. Look at that. Looks like some tiles there. All right, mosaic with the microphone. Then there's the graffiti art style for all the like urban hip hop. There we go. Very cool. Graffiti art style at the microphone. Some street art. Now, street art and graffiti art are similar and different. You can see in the guide the difference between those two things. Street art, okay, street art mural style. Now, I've seen some incredible murals here in LA that are, wow. Okay, airbrush. I don't know if for those of you that are from the airbrush era, doesn't this look like airbrushing from like old magazines? Okay, airbrush art style again, album cover. Cool. You want to do some throwback music videos? Perfect for that. Airbrush art style, or you want to use that in your album art. Okay, here's the stained glass art style. Love it. Here I have my recording studio in a church here in LA. And so there's actually some stained glass of an angel behind the panels here, actually. Let's see. Very cool. Tattoo art style. Nice for like rock, EDM, hip hop. Tattoos art style is a thing. All right, here at the microphone. Okay, back to Renaissance. All right. My guess is that some of the Renaissance generations came in late before generating here. So you might see that happen. You have a bunch of generations going, and then all of a sudden it catches up in the timeline, because this is a timeline. You can see I was up at 11:25 p.m. generating these types of things. My sleep doctor. I know. I just couldn't help myself. All right, here's a 2D cartoon art style. Very cool. Love it, love it. 2D art style. And perfect for doing cartoons if you want to do a cartoon music video. Here's the anime art style. Okay, you can see he's got that anime look. All right, again, another anime look. And here's a manga art style. All right, for those of you that are all the manga art fans, ChatGPT's Sora does a great job. Well, their image generator does a great job of capturing that. And then for those that are into comics, comic book style, art style. Another look. It really got literal. Album cover, photo shoot, Serena Roja. All right, let's see. Comic book art style. I love it. Serena Roja. Okay, you can see her. She's singing it or screaming it, right? Oh, and holding up. Look at that passion there. Okay. And then vintage rubber hose animation. I didn't know it was called that. All right, look at that. Very throwback to early Disney, right? Oh my goodness. Just seeing these photos, that's the thing. Seeing these photos gives all kinds of ideas for music videos. Okay, yeah, that could be a music video. Oh yeah, I could do one that has like that throwback thing. And then of course, here's the stop motion animation art style. How many shorts and music videos and films have used that style? You can also use that stop motion animation. All right, same thing. We have some multiple generations there. And then of course the claymation art style. Love it, love it, love it. Look at that. All right. And then there's the cutout animation art style. Look at that, how everything is separated here, or it looks like it's separated, cut out and put on. That's very cool. Same thing there. All right. And then, all right, now silhouette animation art style. Of course, it's the silhouette. That's hot. That's hot. I could completely use that for something. Oh my goodness. What if a whole music video was silhouette? Oh, okay. Get so many ideas. All right. And then 3D CGI animation. All right. We know what that's all about there. Okay. Very, Disney, Pixar in the building. All right, here we go. Flat design, vector illustration, art style. Very cool, very cool. All right, that's that same style at a microphone. And then here's the cell shaded animation. Oh my goodness, look at that. It looks so cool. This has inspired me to do a Serena comic book, really. Look at that. Very cool, very cool. Okay, here's a rotoscope animation art style. Wow, look at that. Rotoscope animation art style at a microphone. Okay. All right. Here's a super deformed art style, or chibi. All right. That has been very popularized lately. All right. Same thing at the microphone. Very cool. Now here's a paper craft or origami art style. That's very cool too. Look at that. Okay. And then here we go into that hyper realistic cinematic film noir art style. Album cover. All right. I don't know what kind of accent that was. Anyway, being an only child, sometimes you just gotta, this is what only child. Okay, anyway. Very cool. Look at how they have the spotlight dropping down there, that backlight there. I'm getting Billie Holiday, Serena Billie Holiday vibes right here. Love it. Okay. neon noir style. This is very cool too. Look at that. I'm getting some 80s vibes there. Same thing here. Again, I imagine if I put hyper-realistic in there, then it would be less that and more this. Okay. And then here's Technicolor. Vintage color film. All right. Very cool. Very cool. Again, Technicolor. Some updated. I remember they took some of those old films and Technicolorized them, turned them from black and white to Technicolor, right? Okay, here's the sepia tone, vintage photo kind of vibes. Very cool. Sepia tone. What's going on with that hand around her waist? A random, what's that? The Addams Family that has like the hand. Anyway, how'd he get in there? All right, here we go. High contrast, black and white art style. Woo! I have to adjust my eyes to this. It just really pops out. Okay, high contrast, black and white. Okay, again, I'll put hyper realistic in there if I were to run that again, just to get that. Okay, here we go. VHS retro art style. Watch out there now. There's some people that still use VHS. If you're one of those people, put that in the comments. Won't shame you. Won't shame you. Some things are still on VHS. I mean, I think about some of the old videos that were taken of me. I have some VHS tapes of performances and so forth up in the attic here. Anyway, here's grindhouse film art style. All right. Look at that. She got blood coming out on the side of her. Okay. I had to do some research on the grindhouse. Some regular. Oh, whoa. Here we go. Fisheye lens art. Seen this in a bunch of different music videos. Does this look familiar? Countless music videos have used this fisheye lens art style. It is a thing in itself. So you might want to use that for your video. Then here's documentary handheld art style. I guess they want to put her in front of a camera here. Okay. But at the microphone on stage, they didn't do it. But this does look like a documentary. I don't know, Joan Baez or something like that. Carly Simon back at Coachella or something like that. All right, here's dreamy bokeh. Not Boken. There's no N in there. Dreamy bokeh lighting art style. Again, I am butchering some of these names. I already know. All right, here we go. Lighting style, very cool. Then we have a double exposure imagery. So double exposure, look, that is so cool. If you want to get into the fantasy world. All right, yeah. So we're seeing that double exposure fantasy thing there, of course. Same thing here on the microphone. Very cool. Now there's a digital futuristic styles art style. Again, there's that future 2070 type vibes. I guess that would be 2070. We might see something like, okay, here we go. Vapor wave art style. All right, look at that. Of course, they put some palm trees and so forth. Seems like very California. Vaporwave. All right. Synthwave. All right, look at that. Give me some Ready Player One. All right, synthwave. Here we go. Now we got the cyberpunk style. Love that. Okay, cyberpunk at the microphone. All right. Ooh, here we go. Steampunk. Look at that. Give me some Willy Wonka chocolate factory type vibes there. Okay. Retro Futurism, space age. This is the aesthetic of Seems like I saw a show recently with that aesthetic, Retrofuturism. Okay. And then here we go, Afro-Futurism. Now they've turned Serena into an Afro-Futurist mixed. There we go. Afro-Futurism on stage. I'm a fan of Afro-Futurism, by the way. Like Wakanda, hello. Glitch art style. All right. We've seen that glitch effects a lot of times. A bunch of TikToks and people use glitch filters all the time. Here's the data moshing art style. Okay. Or data moshing art style. Look at that. That's very, you can see it's like a mix of a couple of different things going on. Oh, here we go. Pixel art style. I'm about to, okay. I don't know what that was, but maybe I'll make a pixel art track. This is what's inspiring me to think like that. Some 8-bit. All right, here's low poly 3D art style. Look at that. Very cool. Very cool. Kind of has some Cubism vibes on there too, right? And this kind of has like the mosaic. So, you know, there's nothing new under the sun, as they say. All right. Well, actually take that back. I think there are some things that are new under the sun. But anyway, voxel art. Okay, very cool. It's kind of like pixel art plus mosaic plus, so yeah, okay, voxel art. Oh, that's cool. Very logo, not logo as in a logo design, but like logo Legos, not logo Legos. Woo! In the world of branding. All right, here's the ASCII art style. I don't know, but this looks so texturized and cool to me. I mean, what? Wow, that is very cool. I want to revisit that for something. And then here's the holographic, art style. Very cool. Augmented AR style, art style. I didn't even know AR was an art style. Then here's like an interface graphics art style. Okay, you know, that could be. Oh, this is very cool right here. Pop star Serena album cover. Maybe change the album cover to say the name of the. Oh no, there's like something here. Could do like a whole thing just off of that. Here's a biomechanical art style. Okay, look at that. And then Y2K aesthetic. Hello. Art style. Y2K, yeah. Okay, and then got the Memphis design art style. Wow, that is very colorful. Very colorful and cool to look at. Okay, we got the Memphis and the generative art style. Okay, there we go. So it looks a little bit like some of the other. And here's the fractal art style. You can see there's some fractal stuff happening inside of this. Okay, as an art style. And then backlight UV glow art style. That is kind of cool. I can see a whole aesthetic. Whoa, here we go. Wireframe. That's cool. I've seen that in a bunch of different videos as well. Wireframe 3D art style. Okay. And then CRT retro display art style. Again, a throwback. Look, now they put it in the television set right there. Or monitor, right? Abstract art art style. Okay. Again, this is a throwback to some of the earlier ones. Psychedelic art style. All right, I'm hearing like some guitar, psychedelic guitar riffs going on in my mind right now. Here's pop surrealism and pop surrealism lowbrow art style right here. Okay, not highbrow but lowbrow. And then the fantasy art style. Look at that, very fantasy. Then we got dark fantasy. Okay, for your horror film, gothic horror. Okay, then here's the sci-fi concept art style. Got that, sci-fi. And then there's a matte painting art style. Okay, there we go. Again, we can see some similarities. Kaleidoscope mirror. Wow, look at that. If you want to have multiple Serenas or multiple U's, kaleidoscope mirror, it's a thing. And then here's the doodle art style. Very cool. And sacred geometry art style. And I believe we are coming to the conclusion. Dream core art style. Look at that. And hybrid mixed styles. Right? You can see this is like pulling from a lot of different styles. Mixed media art style. Okay, very cool. And then live action animation hybrid art style. Love it. You can see there's like a hybrid going on there. Okay, so we've come to the end. Just to show you real quick, I did a quick generation using the prompt. She walks out of the album cover into geometric fantasy world. Okay, so let me run it back. So this was from the sacred geometry one. Of course, Sora has her doing some weird stuff, but that's okay. Look at that, 20 seconds, just taking that video. All right. There's 100 AI music video styles and ideas that are absolutely crushing it right now. Which style is your favorite? Drop your top 3 in the comments below. If you want to see how I use these styles to create viral music videos, make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. And check out my previous videos where I show how to create AI music, as well as do an entire music video that perfectly matches some of these visual styles. This is Marcus Bellringer, helping you make it happen. And I'll see you in the next one. Much love and light.